Hey everybody, I couldn't resist. The Anastasia Subculture Debacle. I couldn't resist talking about it. I just couldn't resist. So I've got, I guess the term is tea to spill. I've got new information. And if you were looking forward to getting those colors, I have found some great dupes that are obviously, under the circumstances, a much better choice than the original palette right now. So I want to talk about Anastasia and how she has come forward for her business and all that kind of stuff, and the Subculture palette, and then I want to share the dupes with you. So if you would like to be a part of this experience with me, putting my little 2 cents in there too, I'm going to tell the story of what's going on. Stay around. All right. So on Instagram, I think this is kind of going on Instagram more than anything. This Anastasia Subculture palette came out, and I looked at it, and like many people, I just wasn't sure, but I did like the fact that it was coming with some colors that I really want, that I didn't know I wanted. Like, for instance, that mustard yellow was just calling to me, and a vibrant, jarring, Ceridian yellow, that was calling to me. So those two colors were calling to me. I have a yellow from my rainbow palette from Urban Decay, but I thought, well, everybody says Anastasia's more pigmented, so to get an even more pigmented yellow and not have to go indie, that would be great. Palette came out, it released, and you guys know how slow I am, so I didn't get it. But I'm thinking about it, and I'm watching the whole process. I was there when it released. I was out there with everybody, and I was there when the site crashed, because the site crashed from so many people buying this palette at once. Anastasia got the site back up. They got everybody's palettes sold to them. When people received their palettes, they weren't broken. So I was like, I'm proud of my girl. I'm proud of my girl, And then a review came out from Ashley. And Ashley did not like the palette. She had valid reasons. She demonstrated it. She had a hard time with the palette. Finally, she said, forget this thing. And she just said, this palette is canceled. And when she said that, Norvina, which is Anastasia's daughter, got very upset and started attacking Ashley. You guys, I've been in this YouTube thing a long time, and new YouTube, even though they don't have the connections that we used to have, because YouTube cut out the tools that we had, but new YouTube acted like old YouTube used to, and new YouTube said, essentially, Anastasia, don't come for me. Every YouTuber that had 50,000 subscribers or more did a palette review calling it the worst things and the worst this, that, and the other. And they started talking about how the other formula, that they had never spilled the tea on Anastasia, because Anastasia is a makeup darling. We all love them. But anyway, they started, and the old formula was pouty, but this formula is ridiculous. And I got rid of this color in one time and this, that, and the other and stuff like that. Well, Mama Anastasia, with all her gorgeousness, had to come forward and, step in there and be big mama for the company's sake, because poor Norvina, she didn't know, because she's young and she didn't know about old YouTube. She didn't know that YouTube kind of has a sort of clannishness to it, where you don't attack us when we do our reviews. You don't do that. You contact us like Kimberly Clark. Nobody comes for Kimberly Clark, because all of YouTube would be there, and you don't want to come for the most huge marketing beauty tool that's available and have it turn the force of its full individual self on you. You don't want that. So Mama Anastasia came forward, and she has a video right now On Instagram, you can go see it, where she's demonstrating how to use the Subculture palette. And I watched her do it, and I watched the looks she get, and then it made sense. And so she demonstrated how to use the makeup, and she showed herself just taking the featheriest brush, and she just lightly touched the Subculture palette, and she went and she said, then once you lightly dip into the palette, you have to come back to your eyeballs and lightly, you can't go at it like a, charger. That's the way I do makeup. I should admit, I used to be a professional makeup artist. I did special effect makeup, Frankenstein, all that kind of stuff. So when you're a professional like that, you get used, you're running around doing stuff. So a lot of professional makeup artists are very strong arm against our makeup, and professional makeup is usually pressed pigment, so it's hard as a rock, and it's designed for people who are working as professionals like that. I'm talking movie special effects makeup. I'm not talking about weddings, okay? So in any event, I can understand that some of us makeup artists, I'm not a makeup artist now though, it's a long time ago, we have these techniques of, you beating out 10 faces, you beating out 20 faces, you powdering everybody, you keeping everybody together, you start marching it in. So when she's explaining how to do that, I'm like, who has time? When you're trying to do a whole bunch of clients, who has time for that? Then I had to reel myself back and realize this makeup was sold for individuals to use on themselves. And so if individuals using on themselves, some women might want to lightly touch the makeup. I didn't see Anastasia having to tap it off, because that's wasted makeup. But then after she lightly touched, just got a little bit on the brush, then she lightly touched her eyeballs, and she got this most highly pigmented look on her eyes. Okay, the other things about this Subculture palette that came out is it has a 6-month shelf life. Panning community. It takes us a year to pan a palette. So a palette with a 6-month shelf life means that we would have to throw away like 60% of that makeup after 6 months. None of us want to do that. We pan a palette sometimes 1 year, and then we have to finish it the next year. We need a 2-year shelf life. So this palette is not cost effective. The 6-month shelf life means that it's $42 for a palette that's basically 3 or 4 shadows, because in 6 months of daily use, you would be able to use 3 or 4 shadows, not the whole palette. So that's one big problem. Second issue, the palette is a powdery mess. YouTubers, from just swatching the palette, have hit pan, and sometimes the pan was so great it would take me a couple months of using a color 3 or 4 times a week to hit pan like that. And then other times people were dumping the eyeshadow off on their hand, and we can't do that. We cannot do that. So now that Anastasia showed us how to use the palette with that light dusting, the 6-month shelf life, the fact that you have to throw that palette out after 6 months because of problem, because if it's so pigmented that I'm not using hardly any of it, it's going to last me 3 or 4 years, but it's not, because it's going to go bad. So it's wasting my money in that sense. So I want to share with you something that we all thought was bad, but now it's good. The palette was leaked before it came out, so companies have the dupe on the shelf. Actually, before Anastasia got to the stores, the dupe is already in the store. So I'm going to share the dupes with you. There are 2 dupes, and one dupe is based upon the fact that Subculture palette used to be based upon mica. The old formula for Anastasia was based upon mica. So I think it was a talc-free formula. The new palette has talc in it, and some people think some of the problems with the palette are coming from the formula not being cohesive with talc, and talc being naturally a powdery formula. Well, Pure has a palette, the My Little Pony palette. If you're a person who likes a drugstore dupe, the second dupe, I'm going to put it up now. This is e.l.f.'s Artistry palette. I know e.l.f. put this out as a dupe for the Subculture palette. It is a great dupe. It has that dark green in it. It has the grays in it. It has the pinky tones, the rosy tones in it. It has those acid greens in it. And it looks just like the Subculture palette. So it is a phenomenal dupe, and it's going to be e.l.f. quality, which at this point is looking pretty good. For $20, it's available on Ulta's website. I don't have a link. I don't have an affiliate code. I could if I wasn't lazy, because Ulta gives affiliate codes to everybody, but you know, I just got to stay in my lane. So if you want to find it, I put the screenshot up. Go on over to Ulta. It's the e.l.f. Artistry palette. It's $20, and you can use that $3.50 off coupon and get it for $16.50. Or if you have some points, you know, work, and then you can get the looks that you want. The only problem is that with the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, we would have had a whole bunch of people doing a whole bunch of videos showing a look. But hey, everybody did do a look in the videos where everybody came out, you know, slashing the palette, but they all did pretty much a look. So you can go through all those palette videos and you can find a lot of looks for that palette. And hopefully, since Anastasia is now involved, she will go through and quality control and re-release the Subculture palette. We'll see what happens with that. But I just, my heart is done good, because YouTube came together as a family to say, you don't mess with one of us. Who's telling, you know, you don't come for us. Don't come for me. You know, so I was proud of my YouTube family. And now I want, you know, YouTube darling Anastasia to, I want them to come out okay. And in the meantime, I want you to have some choices, you know, for the fall, because I'm tired of y'all looking the same in them same old warm palettes all the time. I love you. Jesus love you. And you look beautiful, you know. You look good. You're all right. And I'm proud of you.